everybody, this is an introductory video to dichotomous keys. So we'll be covering what a dichotomous key is, what the purpose of one is, and how to use one. Dichotomous keys are frequently used by scientists to aid in the identification of organisms that they aren't familiar with. So they could use something like this Peterson Field Guide to Moths to identify a moth that they don't know what it is. Dichotomous keys use a series of statements that lead the reader toward a correct identification as they observe different characteristics on the organism. As you select each choice on the key that best matches your organism, it leads you closer to an identification, and if you do it right, the key should tell you the name of the organism, which of course is your end goal. Keys are very specific and are most effective when the user is extremely familiar with the terminology that the key uses. Keys that identify fishes, for instance, will ask you questions like how many spiny rays are in the dorsal fin or how many scales are along the lateral line. So this is a picture of a bass, and you can see all of the external anatomy labels on it, and those are just examples of some of the terms that you would need to identify that fish. Keys for plants, however, might use terminology like, are the veins parallel? Are the leaves compound? Are they lobed? Is the arrangement alternate or opposite? And so this is a picture of the different types of leaves, and this is just a few that you can have. So it's extremely important to be very familiar with the terms that a key uses before you actually begin the process of keying out an organism so that you don't become confused and overwhelmed. So this is a dichotomous key. This is the format that you are most often going to see when you open up a field guide to begin keying out an organism. We're going to go through this key together, so I've made it pretty basic, and you probably would be able to go through it by yourself, but we're going to go through it together so that you get a better idea of the format of a key and the process of actually going through one. I've added some icons from the PowerPoint gallery, and here we see a lizard, a beetle, a camel, a fish, and a flamingo. You should all know the basic characteristics of these animals, and you should be able to go through this key with no problem. I'm going to throw up some questions on the right-hand side of your screen, so you're going to answer those and select the option that you think best fits the organism as we go, and then once you answer the question, the video will resume. So we're going to go ahead and identify this lizard right here. You should all know the basic characteristics of a lizard, so you should be able to go through this key with me. So number 1 asks us if the organism has 4 or more legs, or if the organism has fewer than 4 legs. So our lizard up here has 4 legs. There are some legless lizards, but our lizard has all 4 legs. So we are going to select that option, and it is asking us to go on to number 2. Number 2 asks us if the organism has antennae or if the organism does not have antennae. Our lizard does not have antennae, so that option is prompting us to go on to number 3. Number 3 is asking if the organism has fur or if the organism has scales. Our organism has scales, so we've successfully identified that our organism is Scaloporus undulatus, or the eastern fence lizard. Now you don't see the common name here, you just see the scientific name, and that's very common in keys. Sometimes they'll throw the common name in there as well, but most keys will include the scientific name. That's for accuracy. Some organisms share common names, like you can have more than one fence lizard and it can become very confusing, but only one organism will have this scientific name. Remember that scientific names have a genus and species name. The genus is capitalized, the species is lowercase, and everything is in italics unless you're writing it by hand, in which case it's underlined. So that should give you guys a general overview of a dichotomous key and how to use one.